Hello everyone, my name is Barbara Weber and I am a almost 9-year survivor of neurosarcoidosis and sarcoidosis, and I wear purple for sarcoidosis awareness. I was a hairdresser for 24 years and I ended up having lesions in my brain, spine, and lungs, which I never knew I had. And it started out with just the eyes going bad with uveitis and iritis, and excuse me, it attacks your whole entire immune system, and I get IVIG infusions every other week, which is blood platelets from donors. And as you can see, here is my IV pole every other week that comes out for 5 hours each day, 3 days in a row. That is what's keeping me alive right now and moving, because without it, the neuropathy is so bad, I can't even move my big toe. So, on top of that, I've been getting Remicade for almost 9 years as well. I started out at the Cleveland Clinic. I'm not sure if we can mention doctors' names, but they saved my life, because without Remicade, that is not FDA approved here in New York State, I ended up having to have a 40-page letter sent to New York Insurance so it could be approved, so I could basically function. This disease is not easy, nor is any disease. You lose friends, you gain friends, you gain a community of support group, and we really need awareness out there. And there are so many people, so many doctors that are uneducated of what they need to do, what works, what doesn't work. And everybody's different. Every single case of sarcoidosis is different, and that's why some of us call each other snowflakes, because we're all different. Me personally, it affects my eyes, my lungs, my liver, my bladder, my spine, pretty much everything. I was in a wheelchair because of the neuropathy was so bad that I had a skin punch biopsy done at Cleveland Clinic to prove that I had small fiber neuropathy caused by the sarcoidosis. And it's also affecting my autonomic system, which means anything that's involuntary, and I'm sorry I have to get a little graphic, but anything with bowel, bladder, your heartbeat, regulating your heartbeat, your heat, your temperature, that all goes haywire when your sarcoidosis inflammation is very high. The doctor's appointments are crazy, out of this world. You're constantly running because it's such a multifunctional disease. You have to go to a cardiologist, pulmonologist, rheumatologist, neurologist, urologist. Pretty much anything that ends with a gist, you have to see. And because of this disease can be so crippling, I can no longer drive because it causes seizure activity. So therefore I can't trust my own body to drive anymore. You got to depend on drivers. And it's very, very humbling, very difficult. But I will tell you, I have a very positive attitude, because I know that I'm going to be okay, and I won't let this get me. I will not let it beat me. I am very upbeat. If anybody follows me on Facebook, they know that I joke, I make fun of, it's very serious, but I poke fun to try and make people laugh and feel better. But there's days that it's very hard. There's some days you can't get out of bed. There's some days that you don't want to get out of bed. And that support group helps. We need to, you probably hear my oxygen in the background. I'm on 3 liters of oxygen because it affects the lungs. And I'm 47 years old. My quality of life has gone downhill. I still do things that I normally did, but with a lot more difficulty. And if I can help anybody, I would say it's stay positive as best you can. Talk to people. Don't let fear get you. There's Google good and there's Google bad. So if you're going to research, like we all do, you look for Mayo Clinic, Cleveland Clinic, any type of hospital, Strong Memorial. Don't go to forums because people will give you advice. It's not always good. There are people that, know what they're doing, that obviously we can't give you medical advice, but I like to give people uplifting advice. And excuse me, my mouth is dry because of the sarcoidosis. You also have a snowball effect of other autoimmune diseases. Sjogren's usually comes with it. And I have Hashimoto thyroid because the immune system is just working crazy overtime. And it's not easy. But having a good support system in your family, a lot of people walk out on their spouses. It's very hard. Communication is key. You have to let people know how you're feeling because we don't know. We're not mind readers. They don't know. They're not mind readers. And I've been told pretty much I'm going to live with this the rest of my life. They can tell me all they want to tell me, but in my heart, in my faith, I know I'm going to beat this. Whether it's here or in heaven, I'm going to beat it. Either way, I win. So my faith definitely gets me through every single day. My motto is, if I wake up on the right side of the grass, it's a good day. I hope I can empower someone with faith, with hope, anything that brings inspiration. I'm here for you. You can look me up on Facebook, Barbara Mardino Weber, excuse me, and I'll gladly talk to you. You can message me, but we need to get the word out. The word sarcoidosis is becoming more and more popular, even though it's rare. They say it's mainly in the African American descent, but I'm clearly not African American. I'm Scandinavian, and it's showing up more and more. They're finding more genetic ties with it. And I would love to talk to anybody if they want to talk to me. And I hope this helps you. We need awareness. Spread it. Spread it all over the place because there's not enough. Some doctors, I hate to say it, we know more than they do. And be your own advocate, because I was told I would never walk again. I was in a wheelchair, and I was told I didn't have that typical walk like an MS patient. And I'm sorry, there's more diseases out there than cancer and MS, and I don't mean to downplay anybody, but I was told I would never walk again because I didn't have that typical walk. Well, excuse me, what's a typical walk? I had a vision I was going to walk again, and I asked them to try intrathecal baclofen pump because I had severe spasticity. I would hold a coffee cup and get stuck to it, and my hand would burn because of the neuropathy caused by the sarcoidosis. So I asked them to do a trial, and within 10 minutes they couldn't produce a a spasm. And they're like, wow, you're an amazing candidate. And I said, I know, I told you, I had a vision and I'm going to do this. And I'm walking again. I'm walking, talking, and doing what I have to do, just with more difficulty. Sarcoidosis is very, very involved, and it takes a lot of your time. A lot. We will spread hope. We will spread information as much as we can. And stay positive. Don't let this beat you, because then the disease wins, and we don't want that. You fight with all your might. Don't ever give up. And I have a saying, if anything comes into my head negative, I will tell myself, stop that stinking thinking, because it's not good. Because that will give you thoughts that you don't want, and you'll end up with depression. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Because of sarcoidosis, I have to take, I'm going to give you a peek, I have to take heart pills, water pills, thyroid pills, potassium, Valium, prednisone, that's a brutal one. Cardizem for the heart, because it affects the heart. I take alfuzosin because you can't go to the bathroom, you can't urinate properly. Stool softeners, Miralax, you can't go to the bathroom. Pain pills. I'm probably on at least 20 pills. I'm on 2 inhalers, nebulizer. Here's my nebulizer, right? Let me see if I can show you. Oh, I'll bring it to you. There's the nebulizer. There's so much involved with sarcoidosis. Stay positive. You will get through this. It's very, very difficult, but if you have the willpower, you can beat this. Faith is, to me, is forward action in the heart, and I stand firm on that. Whether you believe in God, Jesus, Allah, whatever, Buddha, just have faith, because that's important to get through this. Without it, I don't know if I could be as strong, but I know in my heart that I'm going to be okay. And there's days that I can't get out of bed. There's days that I can't even get myself my own food. Perfect example, the other night I had a bronchial spasm and I couldn't breathe. And countless trips, oh my goodness, countless trips to the hospital. Since January alone, I've had 10 or more hospital visits. The doctors look at you and tell me I'm too difficult and we don't know what to do with you. Well, that's wonderful. That's why these doctors need to be educated. That's why these doctors need to be informed of what these diseases are. Home nurses need to be aware of symptoms that can happen. Because I don't drive, like I told you, I get this every other week at home. And then once a month I get Remicade in an infusion center. And having people drive me to places it's humbling and it's hard. And right now I'm in a situation where I don't have a driver because my mother, she broke one leg and tore cartilage in the other knee. So she literally doesn't have a leg to stand on right now. And you really, truly find out who your friends are when this happens. If you are ever thinking of suicide, don't. Reach out to these support groups. That's what we're here for. We want to help you. We want to lift you up. There are too many people that give into this disease and unfortunately commit suicide. And it's very, very easy to slip into that depression, but we are here, all of us snowflakes, if you will, or Sarkies, or whatever you want to call us, where there's hundreds and hundreds of them all over the internet, Facebook, social media. Anybody that is going through this knows what we're talking about. Copays, astronomical. The meds alone, they're very, very expensive. In 2015, my husband's insurance switched, and we were told that it was too experimental what I was on since 2008, and they took everything away from me. And because of that, I now wear trifocals at 46 years old. They almost made me go blind, and they almost killed me. And I ended up in the hospital 3 times. And back to what I was saying before about the hospital, I also had three ambulance rides. I was told I was going to have a lung transplant and scared my whole entire family. And that's where the education comes in, because these doctors don't know what's going on. They need to be educated. I cannot stress that enough. We as patients, we know more than the doctors do, and I am not kidding. You can ask anyone that's a veteran, if you will, because I know, and I told my pulmonary doctor yesterday, I said, I know my autonomic system is not working correctly. I have a right here, come on, heart monitor on right now, because I'm going tachycardic and Brady, which means that my heart could stop at any moment. My vocal cords, they snap shut. Well, guess what? Your vocal cords don't work. That blocks your airway. It's just like choking. And it blocks your lungs. You can't breathe. So I was fighting for breath. And many of these meds have side effects. And the doctors keep throwing meds at you. And you have the right to say no. You do your research on the meds and the side effects. Because once you have so many meds, you don't know what's causing what anymore. And I found out yesterday that I've been on Remicade since 2008, like I said. I did not build up antibodies. I did not have an allergic reaction, but I am overly toxic right now of the Remicade, which means they're giving me too much too soon. So unfortunately, I have to go back to steroids, and if anybody knows steroids, they are not fun. You get roid rage really bad. I'm one of the worst ones. You get this nice little round face here. This is beautiful. I used to be 126 pounds before all this happened. And they blew me right up with steroids. And it's very hard on a person, body image wise. But remember, our body is just a shell. It's your spirit that counts. Your spirit speaks miles. And if you're positive around people, they'll be positive. And if you smile, that smile is contagious. Don't let this beat you. My name is Barbara Weber, and I'm a sarcoidosis survivor, and I will continue to survive. I love you all, and I wish you the best. Thank you.